Hi there, this is Peter, THX Network. Today we're going to look into a couple of new features that we have added to the dashboard. Basically rebuild the developer section a little bit. You're now able to register for API credentials, for client credentials or authorization code grants. In this video we're going to dive into this client credentials grant and make some communication between APIs possible. You create a set over here, but for demo purposes I'm going to use these. The examples over here are already quite self-explanatory. This is how you import the API client from the SDK package available on npm, and this is how you instantiate it. But to give a slightly better understanding of its use, I'm going to do a little demonstration in an actual very tiny Express project. Another thing that's important is how to create identities. So using this SDK we can create a THX Identity, and this is basically a UUID that we use to connect users in your database to accounts in our database. Last but not least, we're gonna publish a couple of events for this particular identity that we create in the demo. We're gonna use a level up event. You can choose whatever you want, but the quest that I want to set up should incentivize people with should incentivize level ups. Therefore, I name it like that so that I can easily find it back when I create my custom quest. So let's get started. I've already copied these client credentials to my Tiny Express project over here. Well, this is an old demo. Identity and event. So yeah, again, this script is really basic. So it starts an Express server basically with a couple of get endpoints, which is very easy for demo purposes. We are instantiating the API client over here. We're mocking a sign-in procedure over here. In memory, we have an account collection for this user, and note that this user currently has no identity. Oh, that's sad. And also he is level 0. So in the sign-in controller, we're actually going to detect if the identity is set. If not, then we're going to create it using the SDK. On the account controller, we should be able to see the account credentials. And when we hit the level up controller, this should be able to level up our account, but also cast the, this is incorrect, also create an event in our system for this particular identity that we attach to this particular user. Now last but not least, we're gonna use the widget to connect the identity to a user logging in, signing in through the widget. So let's get this server started. Not sure, I think I have the wrong widget script here, so give me a second to include the right one. Oh, it was actually the right one. Alright, so where are we? Custom quests, index. We started, and since we logged the SDK, I wanted to do that to show you what's in there. You instantiate it obviously with some environment credentials that you obtained through our dashboard. You should hide these things, also not publish them in any front-end app or anything. This is purely for backends to consume. There is a little request manager which will handle obtaining the token from our OAuth2 server upon the instantiation of this client. So you don't have to worry about that. Just publish this and all should be good. Then it has an identity resource and an event resource. We're going to use both, but let's dive into the controllers that we need to access to actually look into it. So this is actually the only stuff that we need. So let me clear the logger. Here we go. Server started. Now we're visiting it. Well, we have nothing on root, but as soon as we run sign in, we should end up in that controller and actually fetch an identity from our server. So the identity should also become listed here because we're using API credentials that are connected to the campaign that we configured over here. So let's see what happens. We go here and we see in the response that indeed an identity is created. So let's remember 917. If we look into the controller, we see that it is in memory stored for account 0. But now if we look into the dashboard and we refresh it, we actually see the same identity being created over here. Currently not attached to any account ID known in our system, but this is definitely something that we can start using. So let's see what happens if we refresh. So this is basically signing in again. Well, in memory we stored the identity, we're not creating a new one. This is also something that you should do. The identity should be persistent and attached to a particular user or account in your account collection. So now let's see what this account is about. This is the identity indeed, but we're still level 0. The thing that we want to do is incentivize level ups. For that we are publishing events. We use this little bit of code over here. So same thanks client, create an event. We can name it whatever we want. Could also be a code or whatever, but it's best to make it a little bit recognizable because those names are going to show up in Thanks dashboard the moment you want to configure custom quests for it. So yeah, I want to level up this player. Let's go here. That's very nice. He reached level 2 already. We're very happy about that. But the other thing that should have happened is that when I go to events over here, I now see 2 events being stored in my dashboard. 2 level up events to be precise. You get some time. We're going to improve this a little bit so that you can easily page to all the data or search for anything that you'd like. And this is basically the integration for as far as I wanted to show it now. We can now head over to the quest overview and create a custom quest, because we will now see this event type level up over here. And let's say that we want to only give a reward of 500 points as soon as a user reaches level 5. Well, this is how you would configure such a thing. Yeah, I'm not gonna publish it because that will also publish it in our website. But anyhow, this is how you configure such a quest. Maybe I should publish it actually. Nobody will reach level 5 anyway on my local machine, but that will also allow me to show you how to connect this identity to the Thanks account. So we're going to use the preview here. This you can't see, I guess, so let's move it not behind myself. Level up, here we go. I just realized that everybody subscribing to the Thanks campaign now also received a notification about this event. Nice, Peter. When we sign in, we are obviously not able to complete this quest because our system doesn't know who my account is yet. We're going to change that in a bit. So level up, I can claim this quest for 5 times, which is the amount of levels that I'm able to receive. But as the error message states, there's no identity connected to this account. There are various ways to connect an identity. I'm gonna show you a very simple one, and for the rest, I'm gonna refer you to the docs. So, oh well, no, I'm gonna show you the docs actually. identities over here. And then let's see if we can make this programmatic identity connect flow work. So what we are simulating here is a backend where this UUID was stored, passes it on to the front end, and a little script in the front end sets it on the THX widget object, which is available in the global scope of your browser. It's rather trivial, but important to get right. So what was the identity again? We should have it over here. So this is your database. Basically, you are passing this UUID to the front end, and in the front end, you execute this line of code as soon as the widget is loaded. You can also pass it in the constructor of the THX widget class, which you can also use through the SDK. This will instantly set the identity for the user signing in through this widget. But now we are already signed in, so we're just gonna do it like that. Perhaps the test is even better if we sign out. Yes. So we're signed out. We're setting this identity. There's no response. We're storing this in the storage of this actual application. If we go to identities, we notice that there is no account ID set yet. But as soon as we sign in, magic should have happened, and let's refresh this. Indeed, my account ID is now connected to this particular identity, which means that as soon as I now try to claim this quest, it should not be a problem. I've earned 500 points, and I can not only do this once, I can do this twice, because 2 events have been cast for me. No more, because there were only 2 events. But let's imagine that this user plays your game a little bit more, reaches level 3. Now, being level 3, he should be able to claim the quest once more. And there we go. I hope you saw my points increase. So yeah, that's how you work with identities and events with the JavaScript SDK that is available on NPM. Docs and also this little repository with some example code I will share in the description. Feel free to jump into our Discord for any questions or anything like that. And yeah, make something nice and enjoy it. Bye bye. Thanks for your attention.